Hello, parents, grandparents, future parents, and curious minds. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Steven.
And I'm PJ.
And this is Dad's Discuss. So, PJ, how's it going today, man?
It's going pretty good. Currently, you have just poured me a nice wheated bourbon. Very delicious, smooth on the tongue. I'm really happy with this.
Yeah, Rebel does a good job straight out of Kentucky, cask strength. This is actually my first one. It smells nice.
It is a very, very delicious bourbon.
And here at Dad's Discuss, we always, drink responsibly, but it's nice to throw back for a few while you have a heated conversations about topics everybody's curious about when they're raising kids.
Very true. Hopefully this conversation is not super heated, but I understand some people have very strong opinions about any topic related to parenting.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty chill and even about it, but hopefully we'll get some people fired up. I know that two of us have a lot of similar viewpoints, but it'll be interesting how we hash out problems and come to a solution or not.
Absolutely. And reminds me, yes, please drop your comments in the Dad's Discuss email, or let us know what you think. If there's something we talk about that you want to know more about, something you have strong opinions about, give us a line.
Give us more juice to fuel the fire.
That's right. So today, it looks like we're going to cover a topic a lot of people have to go through, but it's sleep patterns. I know anyone who has children or who's expecting children, it's going to be something you'll have to go through. So, Stephen, why don't you kind of give me a quick rundown of what your style is or some of the things you've attempted to try these past few years?
Yeah, so we early on adopted the co-sleeping. My wife did a ton of research into what's best for a kid and what's best for you. And we found out both our personalities is not suited towards crying babies. Co-sleep really gave us a solution to not have to get up at night and go to another room and nurse a baby or take care of a baby or take shifts with the baby. Catherine literally just rolls over and feeds the baby and we all fall back asleep, or I never wake up. And so we're very meticulous about it. I know it's a heated topic in the parenting community, but we're very meticulous about going through all the rules for co-sleep, no pillows, no heavy blankets. It's best to have a baby in summer because then you can have nothing on the bed except for your bodies.
Makes sense.
And then, they just grow up and works out pretty well. The one thing is that it really is so suited to personality and people types and stuff because I'm such a heavy sleeper. I was nervous about it because I was like, I'm not going to wake up if I run into this kid in the bed. But we had good feelings about either kicking me out of the bed or or the fact that I sleep like a log, A, but B, I don't move.
Okay.
I lay down, fall asleep on my back, and then I'm there until I wake up. Found out really early on that I don't move, so it was okay. And then my wife's such a light sleeper that anytime the baby moved, she was awake, but at least she didn't have to leave the room.
That's good. That's good. That's interesting. You mentioned about like all the meticulous details, because a lot of the research that I've done on the different topics, there's mixed views, and even in the academic community on, whether it's beneficial or not, but it's not like super one-sided, but they do have those in favor of co-sleep. They have a lot of suggestions on, how to make it as safe as possible. And that is the style that we're currently using with Luna. We did start her when she was first born, in her crib. We did keep the crib in our room so that we could both be there. I myself am a super light sleeper. I don't sleep much in general anyways. So hearing her was never much of a problem. As she started to get a little bit older, we then did move her into our bed. It's a very large bed, California king. So I'm not, yeah, I know, not super concerned about being close to her. I do see the benefits of it though, at least at this age. She's right there. If she needs us, we don't have to go running. She doesn't have to cry for us. She can almost just say mom or dad, and we're right there. As she gets a little older, that eventually it'll come time to move her into her own room. Occasionally she has started to fall asleep in her own bed.
Oh, nice.
Which is nice. Usually a couple hours later, she will wake up and call for us, and we'll bring her in and let her sleep with us again.
Nice. Yeah, we had a pretty nice streak there for a few months where the oldest slept in her own bed at the foot of our bed, and then I guess when the second came along, she wanted to,
Not be left
I guess,
out.
yeah, not be left out. A little jealous, but she knows she always has that option, and we're gonna prep another room for her to be her room coming in the near future, and then she has even more options for a sleep area.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. Looking forward to that journey, but you kind of get used to you want to be near your wife and everything, but you kind of do love the bonding time you get from co-sleeping because you're just right there and don't have to worry about where they are or.
It's just a peace of mind thing for myself. Like, if I know that she needs me just by, like, softly saying my name, it doesn't freak me out as much as if she's in another room and I hear someone crying.
Yeah.
Not that I haven't heard her cry. Every child does, but it's just much easier access. And like you said, I think we've done what we can to make it as safe as possible. And at this stage in her life, I'm not as concerned
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once they're like a year old or more, it's like they can kick off a pillow from their face or blanket from their face.
And this is very true.
And they're strong enough to slap me in the face to wake me up. So.
Strong enough to kick you out of the bed, as you mentioned.
Yeah. One of them, yeah, the oldest sleeps sideways sometimes, and we gotta tell her, no, you're going to your own bed. You will go to your own bed if you keep doing that.
Ay. So some of the things that you had written down on this board, you're going to have to help me out with, because as I mentioned, this is something that me and my wife have done with our daughter nearly since the beginning. One says train.
Oh man, you're just throwing out my scribbled on notes.
We've already discussed your whiteboard here.
Yeah, that was the set. At least the two options I know most about is the co-sleep versus the training your kids to sleep. So a lot of the philosophy about the counter argument is that they develop self-reliance or whatever if you put them in a room and let them cry it out, and they can self-soothe and be okay with being alone sort of thing. Early on, that seemed more of a negative to me and Catherine because it was like they're crying and you don't know if they're crying because they don't want to be alone or if they're crying because they're hungry or hurt or just sad in general. So
when they're too young to be able to tell you the difference, yeah. And I know some parents can say, "Oh, well, I know the exact pitch and frequency of what each cry means." I was never that person. A cry is a cry. Something's wrong, and we need to look into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell certain cries. Like our oldest will cry a lot heavier if she gets hurt than if she's frustrated. But I don't know. It's true. It's something we never really wanted to deal with. Now the dogs are barking, so I don't know.
Well, it's the joys of having a home.
Yeah, it's just part of the family podcast. I mean, what would we be a Dad's Discuss podcast without a little noise, right?
Very true.
But yeah, my other notes I put up there, not really, I don't really know what some of them mean myself, but.
You wrote the note.
Oh, yeah. A couple of them, like deeper connection, self-soothing. I already wrote down, we went over that. And then hours, just, how many hours changes so much when the kids grow up. Like, I know when they're first born, we, heavily look at all the research about you need to get them this many hour naps and this many sleeps and stuff like that. But then now that one of them's almost 4, it's like we just let her go to bed when she's tired and wake up when she's rested, sort of thing.
I understand. Occasionally, if it gets too late, me and Kimber will, we have to put her down. We're like, all right, it is time to relax. It is time to lay our head on the pillow. It is night. I don't think we ever had a set time. I do know some parents are very meticulous about that. Like, the child knows exactly when their bedtime is. We've never been in that situation.
Yeah, I think that's the structured sleep schedule is a very as personality basis as you can get, because I don't think our child would do super well with being told. I mean, maybe if she grew up with it earlier on, but I don't think she would survive being told, go sit in a room and nap. I mean, we've tried it a few times, especially, when she's tired and we know she's tired. And fighting her on her isn't worth it. It's best to just let her say, hey, I'm tired. Can I go lay down?
Been in that situation. But yeah, I agree. And I also think a lot of that has to do with your mindset as well. You, as the type of parent that I know you to be, I think you would actually have trouble saying, "Hey, this has to happen."
Yeah.
So
Well,
if she's well, I'm
I
not
can
saying
exercise that side of myself, but if I don't have to, I don't let it come out, you
and
know.
that's not what I meant, my friend. But I just meant like you feel more comfortable allowing her to say, "I am tired," than forcing a strict
Yeah.
bedtime. I
Yeah,
agree.
because I don't have anything in my life more important than her, so I don't need her to go down for a nap to get something done. We have a nice philosophy in our household that the kids do everything with us, so just like, the extreme personality Mr. Liver King on the internet, then his kids go to work meetings with him and stuff because he runs his own business. I don't take it to that extreme because my kids can't come to work, but that would be fun if they could see daddy at work. Obviously, that would be against a lot of rules in some of the work environments, but if you work for yourself, then it's possible.
Makes sense.
The kids just came to Frisbee with us, and that's important to us, and
And
I
so
go to
that
home with her
aspect kind
stuff.
of spills over into, most things in life and
Yeah.
hours, set time limits and stuff. Just not one of them.
Yeah, because if I take them to a huck board meeting or whatever and it's during their nap time, just fall asleep in my arms or something if you're tired. 'Cause, we're out doing things and getting stuff done. So we're not going to take a break for nap time. We'll see how it plays out for her in the end. They've been enjoying it just fine. I've got a big enough lap they can sleep in.
Nice.
And so you'll catch us out and about doing whiskey tastings or running meetings, and we'll have a child sleeping in our lap. I was in grad school the other night and had to carry the kids into the lab with me because the class was still going on and Catherine had something to do.
At least you were able to have the freedom to do that.
Yeah, yeah. You get some strange looks sometimes, and there are definitely some places where people are like, yeah, don't bring the kids. So we make it a habit to ask
Well,
always.
that's polite. Well, for those listening and my own benefit, I know we're a little off topic, but you said huck board. I have no idea what that is.
It's the Huntsville Ultimate Club. It's the board of directors that manages really just organizing the ultimate in town because they had to create some entity because what was happening is we were running leagues and all the money was just going through the one guy's bank account and he was like, I'm not gonna pay taxes on this crap anymore. You guys are gonna form a nonprofit and run Ultimate in town through a nonprofit. So I joined their board a few years ago as a secretary, and so we go to meetings and try and make sure all the leagues are getting run and the whole community is taken care of and field access has gotten the main website's maintained and all that fun stuff on a pure volunteer basis.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only way we could get. Well, I mean, there are other ways to get organized sports. There are, ways to profit from it and stuff, but the people that ran the community ran in quotations, I mean, had the biggest group, never wanted to make money off of it. They just wanted to run their passion. Nonprofit money. It's become the biggest in town. There are pockets of like other types of ultimate group. It kind of tracks with the sleep talk we're talking about because
little
right.
little tangent there, but honestly, some of the words you said in there were just giving me new ideas for other future topics. You brought up finance and all kinds of things that I
Yeah,
think we could
fitness,
use later.
sports, things like
Absolutely.
that.
Organized sporting events for children. We'll have
Oh
to throw
man,
that one on your
that's gonna be
whiteboard.
a tough topic to handle, mostly because so young in it that the kids aren't doing anything competitive. So I don't know how my opinions are gonna go, but we'll see. It relates to sleep because they were out there playing nonstop while I was at Ultimate today, and they get in the car and they're both about to pass out because they were so tired. So they're sitting there facing nap time at 5 o'clock in the evening, which is so awkward.
Yes, that is one thing that I have noticed. We both, me and my wife, have tried to make it a little bit more structured in that we know there's like that, line crossed that if you haven't taken your nap before this point, then just keep letting you go and you'll probably eventually have an early night. But do not
Yeah.
have her nap beyond 6 p.m. or you yourself will be up quite late that evening.
Yep. We had that night last night, actually, and I was so tired. I was like, girl, I'm going to bed.
You put yourself to bed.
And I put myself to bed, and I don't know, she eventually fell asleep. I woke up and she was still in bed, so the next morning. So hopefully she didn't keep mom up too late. I have no idea. I passed out.
I that's the one thing, like the whole hard sleep. I've just never been that type of person. Honestly, I kind of take it as a benefit because it does allow me to be available when I need for, my children or God forbid, an intruder or anything of that nature. But having the ability to be able to fall asleep and not realize what's happening every once in a while, I wish I could do that. Sometimes I really probably should sleep more than I actually do.
Yeah, that's another topic I wrote down was, kind of into hours is, how long we need to sleep as parents. Everybody, I think, in society understands that a new parent or even several years in parents probably a little sleep deprived. It's a little accepted, right?
Accepted or just understood.
Yeah. The worst thing is, making a mistake from that sleep deprivation, that's for sure.
Very
So
true.
you gotta get rest. But sometimes you can't. I know or especially early on, you can't. It's so hard. You gotta just take your wins when you can get them. Get a few hours of sleep, and that's nice.
Oh yeah. I've heard the old saying before, but you sleep when your children sleep. And with the way that my body works, that's just never been something that I've
Oh,
ever
really?
done. So do you occasionally take a nap when your child takes a nap?
When it was early on, yeah. When they're like super young, if I can squeeze it in there. My body works in a weird way where if like I said, I sleep like a brick in a dark room. In a dark room with nothing going on and I'm laying down or sitting down, I'll fall asleep.
Okay.
Like, if we weren't engaging in discussion now and I'm tired enough and I'm sitting here, I could probably fall asleep right now.
I know you guys are listening to us and not on video, but I'm tempted to turn off the lights, stop talking, and see if he falls asleep.
I mean, don't tempt me with a good time, but you wouldn't be getting me up, that's for sure.
Okay. I
Um,
think the nap aspect and the way my body is has actually been one of the negatives in that she will go down for a nap. I use that as an opportunity to semi rest, but I'm not asleep or for the most part doing other things
yeah,
necessary that just don't involve her. She's up again, she's ready to go, and I myself did not have that recharge moment.
yeah,
So after her naps, sometimes I do feel myself slowing down a bit.
yeah. Well, I'm about the same way. Like, my personality is usually keep moving. So when she's napping, I'm trying to keep moving, but sometimes I try and put myself in a relaxed state with a show or something to where at least I'm sitting still, if not sleeping. But now that they're older, like, she can go nap by herself. So I'm gonna go get something done.
You would mention about her saying or letting you know whether or not she is tired. Has she gotten pretty good about that? Like she's gotten to the
Yeah.
point where she's always saying, "It's time for myself to take a nap."
Yeah, on the days that she's tired, but then she still doesn't nap. She's just that personality. She'll go, I'm tired. And I'm like, okay, let's go lay down. And then she lays down and it's like, all right, I'm up. Let's play again.
I know that
And
feeling.
so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If she's in a mood, she'll go put herself to sleep. And she did that. That's what happened last night is that she was so tired, she was getting angry. And so she went and had some alone time and then she passed out.
Okay. Well, it is nice when they make it to that point where they themselves understand that, you know what? I'm not acting like how I normally do. It's maybe because I'm tired.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that daddy's doing the same thing.
Maybe,
Um,
maybe this dad of mine actually knows a thing or two.
Do you think there's ever a time when the kids are too old to share a bed with their parents?
I think everyone probably has their own opinions on that. My personal opinion would probably be, the later toddler years. I think, beyond 4 or 5, you're probably getting to the point where they really need to be sleeping in their own bed. They're about to have to start waking up for a more normalized routine and schedule as they get into preschool and kindergarten, things of that nature. But, it parents and children have that special bond and connection, hopefully.
Yeah.
And, who am I to say when you should tell your own flesh and blood, you can't sleep here anymore?
Yeah, and you only get what, at best 18 years with them before they're gone.
That's
So
very true.
gotta capture every moment you can, right?
Yep.
Putting them in their own bed sounds great and everything, but I'll miss it, that's for sure. Too old for me. I don't know. I still, when I got a stomach ache growing up, my parents would let me crawl into bed with them. We didn't co-sleep growing up, I don't think, but they wouldn't say go away if we had a need and they could comfort.
Right. Yeah, that's
So
actually something that we haven't discussed in depth if we were going to set like an age limit cutoff. I'm leaning towards probably not, it just as you mentioned, they get to the point where they themselves realize they're tired. I personally believe that, with our guidance, they will get to a point where they realize, you know what, it's time for me to go to sleep. I'm going to go to sleep in my bed and be able to sleep throughout the night.
plus they're always welcome to come back, right?
Exactly.
I think our strategy will be just here's your new bedroom. You chose the color. Everything's laid out the way you want it. Sleep in here. Let's start bedtime in there. This is our strategy. Let's start bedtime in there. I'll tuck you in. You can try and sleep. We'll walk out of the room. Both doors will be cracked. Come in if you need us, sort of thing.
Yep, and that's how we've been doing it occasionally. And like I said, sometimes that has worked. She'll usually wake up in the middle of the night though and want to come be with us, and
Cute.
then we'll let her hop in the bed. But getting that process started of her understanding this is my bedroom, this is my own space, this is my bed, and she actually really enjoys that.
Oh, good.
For the most part, if she does go down for a nap, she requests to nap in her own bed.
Cute.
Yeah. I would say at least 80% of the time now she is taking naps fully in her own bed because she knows that is her spot and she's very proud of that fact.
Nice. And so does she have like a big kid bed or is it like a low to the ground like toddler bed?
So I'm not sure how everyone else sets up their room in today's society, but we have a lot of furniture that was either both mine or my wife's before. So the bed that she currently has in her room is actually the bed that I used to have when I was younger,
Oh,
and
nice.
the bed that her brother had for a few years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a queen bed for a
Nice.
3-year-old.
Queen kid. I heard a discussion on that the other day where it's like buy your kid a queen size mattress because they'll need it when they get to college.
If we only had a queen size mattress in our college dorms, oh my God.
Yeah, you have
I'm
that
6
tiny less than twin bed, right?
I forget exactly what the title was, but I know I'm 6'1", and that bed would not be very comfortable at all every night.
Yeah, that's funny. Ah, and then one of the other things I had we already covered, so that's good. What do you guys do when you're out and about and she's tired? Or any of your kids are tired?
Well,
Do you go home or
yeah, she gets to a point where we realize it's time to head home. A inside joke I have with my wife is it's time to leave the Waffle House is what we'll tell each other because no matter where we are, it's time to get out. She's tired, but she has a affinity to fall asleep instantly in her car seat.
Oh wow.
So
That's nice.
yes, if she's getting a little tired or even just in general, we're coming back from somewhere we've been, give her just a few minutes of me driving with her in the car seat and she'll fall asleep.
Nice. Yeah, they like I said, they just fall asleep in our arms and we continue on doing what we're doing.
Okay.
Now it's getting kind of harder now that one's almost 4. So she's going to be a little tougher to carry around. We may have to come up with new strategies. And it does get it is like a severe commitment because we were down in St. Augustine for Christmas and she'd fall asleep downtown and we'd be like, well, I guess we could go home and put her down for a nap. No, let's go to another tasting or shop somewhere. It's fine.
That's funny you mentioned that because I guess we did have a similar situation for New Year's. We had the opportunity to go to New Orleans, which I enjoyed. And as we were walking around Bourbon Street and the other familiar areas, she fell asleep, and me and Kimber just took turns carrying her because
Nice.
it was midday. We weren't about to go back to our hotel.
Yeah, and why walk all the way back when you're already there?
Right.
I mean, if you need a nap too, I guess that's worth it.
If only I took naps.
Do you know what Kimber did for the first two, your oldest, or
Did the co-sleeping aspect.
okay?
Yep, I think that's why she was very comfortable with that and with my mindset. And like I said, I did a little bit of research, didn't find one opinion very strong towards the other. I had my own personal opinions on it, especially with the crying aspect, and I don't want her to be upset. So it was not super hard decision myself. And as you can see, here we are today. She's going to turn 4 later this year and still, for the most part, is sleeping with us.
Oh, okay. You went a different direction on that. That's why I laughed.
Oh, okay.
Like you were gonna say still mostly sane or something.
I'm glad you think I'm mostly sane. Thank you.
Oh man, that's funny. Cool. I had a thought in my head, but I have lost it. So if you
I
have
think that
anything,
means you need a nap.
yeah. There's some other sleep-related topic I wanted to discuss, but I don't have it written down, and I don't remember what I was gonna say. So, what else you got for us today?
I believe that's covered a lot of what I wanted to discuss. All of our listeners, if you have any opinions, strong opinions or not, please feel free to reach out.
That's what it was. Strong opinions. The internet. If you go on the internet and you go to communities talking about co-sleep versus sleep training, it's heated. That's why I wanted to talk about it and our opinions. And I'm glad we're on the same page on one level, but it would have been fun if you were a sleep trainer too.
Fair enough.
Maybe one day a guest can come in and challenge us on.
Yes. My only caveat to that, though, is there's something about internet discussions is people will get heated over whether or not you're, peeling peanuts the correct way.
That's true. Yeah.
I would take anything you read on a comment section with a grain of salt. Some people can just be extremely, extremely devoted to one particular point of interest.
And that's another reason why I wanted to start this podcast with you is sensible people coming down as parents and discussing these things. You don't have to be online and chatting away at a keyboard and arguing about what's best. Sometimes any solution is best as long as you're taking it with serious effort and raising the kids the best you can.
I think that's what all parents hope to do.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Thanks for listening to Dad's Discuss.
Please like and subscribe wherever you are listening.
Also, comment any topics you would like us to discuss and share this with your friends and family.
Finally, if you would like to be on the podcast or discuss any topics, please reach out via our contact information below.
We'll fix a better outro later.
We're going to leave that in there, one of them.